Hey guys, welcome back to the Forensics Detailing channel. Do not forget to hit the subscribe button and join us on the Patreon community. Or if you're new to detailing, check out my Detailing Fundamentals course in the description if you want to get started with machine polishing, all that sort of stuff. Now today, breaking a fundamental detailing rule. For the last 6 years, a common question that often gets fielded is around claying and should I clay, shouldn't I clay, how often do I clay, all that sort of stuff. And there's no set rule, is there? I can't answer the question, should you clay? Because I can't look at your car, I can't feel your car, I can't see if it's covered in contamination. So the first thing whenever you're just asking yourself is whether you should clay or not, is your paintwork covered in contamination? So this paintwork has been washed, it's been detarred, and it's now drying in the garage. And the paintwork feels really, really smooth. Now, 9 times out of 10, when you go to polish a car, you should really be claying to get a lot of the roughness out of the paint and the little bits of chunks that are stuck on, especially down here. You get the little black dots in the clay that come off and all that sort of stuff. And if you don't take those off, you're going to be kind of, you know, you're going to be, you don't even, sometimes even machine polishing doesn't remove them. It just sort of, it can pull on them and take some of it off. And some of it just scoops some of the you know, the contaminant off the top and still leaves the little spot. And then you see like the drag of the polish over the top of it. So if you're getting that, then your car, you know, you should have clayed your car really. Now, with this particular car, I keep it pretty well, you know, it's always got protection on it. And it also has carbon ceramic brakes. So there isn't all that sort of ferrous contamination down the side of it. If I spray some fallout remover, let's just do it. Just spray a bit of fallout on there. Quite a lot. And leave that. We'll just see how much of it lights up. And I don't think any is going to. Another good tip is if you're not sure about whether you should clay or not, is clay that bit of the car there and then check out your clay bar after you've clayed it for little chunks and debris. If you've got it in there, if it's there, then it's going to be along the side of the car and around the back of the car to a lesser extent. But I'm not getting any ferrous light up, which you might expect. But when we look right there, there is a piece of contamination, and I bet that's rubber that I just missed. I didn't agitate enough with the fallout remover. So let's just give this a little bit of a clay. Sorry, it's a bit of a bad angle really. We'd love to have a lifter to get this car up. There isn't really much on there. That's a divot. And that's a spot, a chunk of contamination. But that's the worst area on the car, typically. So if I'm not getting any, if I've got no fallout there and I've got no major contamination in the clay, the roof and the bonnet are going to have nothing. So my thinking is I'm going to polish this car without claying. And I'm not cutting it. I'm just using M2 to finish it off and just remove any light wash-related marring, which there is some. I've never done a full cut and finish on this car. I've just gone over it with twice in its life. It's had the Rupes Uno Protect, and it's had a very quick polish with 3D speed, just on a soft pad, not really working it on long sets, just sort of whizzing over it and putting the nice gloss on there. So what I'm planning on is using the M2, degreasing, and then probably putting the Ultra Lock, which you can just see up there on the car, which is going to give me some long-lasting protection to get me through probably most of the rest of the year, and then maybe before winter we'll go in and we'll maybe go again. Now this car is also getting taken to the track, which kind of, you know, especially the front, isn't great for the car. But I didn't buy this car for it to sit in the garage. You know, I bought this car it's a really heavy duty performance car, and I bought it to have fun with that performance. So it's really limitations. I could PPF the front, but I won't. I might PPF the lower splitter. That's it. So the question, can you break the detailing fundamental rule of claying before you polish? Well, I think you can, but it's rare. It's rare. The last time I saw it was probably Reg's car, where he keeps his car washed every week and he keeps it waxed or sealed. You know, it's really on top of the protection. I mean, there was no contamination on that either. And we did a 10-minute turbo clay and there was nothing. So we just sort of went straight onto the polishing and then coated his car and it was fine. So sometimes you can break the detailing fundamental rule. We've got no reaction with the fallout remover on here at all. So there's no iron contamination. The ceramic brakes, obviously, I don't know, do they contain no steel at all, or some steel, or tiny bits of steel, or is it majority, you know, is it 99% carbon, ceramic, whatever, and resin to hold it all together? I don't know, but no evidence of any ferrous components, and we've detarred, so that's good enough for me. Have you ever polished your car? I bet most of you are saying, yeah, all the time, without claying. If you're doing it regularly, you'll probably be okay. The crunch test is what I've just said, down in that lower quarter or on the back side of the car, you know, the rear side above the exhaust. Most bonnets, you know, and roofs and stuff like that, unless you're parking under trees, are going to feel good. And this feels kind of squeaky clean. So yeah, let me know your thinking. I will keep the clay bar to hand. So if I come to a panel and for some reason it feels like there's contamination stuck on there, I could just whip the O&R out, wherever I've got that mixed up down there, and then just quickly clay anything off. You could argue we should do that first, but it's just saving time. I can't really see the benefit in this instance of going around the car and claying it when the paintwork is this smooth. So there we go. Can you break a detailing fundamental rule? Yes, if you want to, but don't break it if you're doing this for the first time and you're not sure. And if you've got steel brakes and the car hasn't been polished and clayed for 6 months to a year, it's likely that it's going to need claying unless it's been sat in a garage all that time, you know what I mean? So there we go, guys. Put in the comments what you think, and if you've ever broken this rule as well yourself. I would imagine so many people are hand polishing their cars, you know, and they'll wash the car and just give it a quick polish with like a glaze, like super resin polish or something like that, without claying, and it'll be absolutely fine. But you've got to use judgment. If in doubt, get the clay bar out, test your panels, test the lower down ones. I'm repeating myself now. And that's about it. Once the car is polished, the inside is in pretty good shape actually, because I just keep it clear of anything. That thing is what takes all the hammering really, isn't it? And you get the dust build up, and I'm finding, I used this yesterday and I really like this because it doesn't put anything, the interior detailer, it's not like a dressing, it's just like an alcohol thing that you can moisten your microfiber and just wipe over like the center console. Even, you know, it doesn't matter if it gets on the Alcantara, but you're obviously not spraying it on the Alcantara, or, you know, but you can just, when the cloth's got a light misting on it, you can go over the Alcantara and just pick up any dust and debris that's on it that the Hoover, the vacuum, didn't get. And I can even wipe over these pieces with it and all this door stuff and just pick up any dust and get it clean to the hands. Yeah, so that interior detail is quite a nice product. I'll probably keep using that. I'm not going to be dressing the interior. I don't put anything on there, even on the leather dash. I just leave it as is. I've got a nasty stone chip there. That's a stone chip, but it's life. That's life. You hear it, don't you? You drive along, it gets dunk, and you're like, grr. You know, you're scanning the window, you know it hit something. You always find them later on. So take care, guys. Quick one from the Forensics Detailing channel. I'm going to be firing up the polishing machine now. I try and have as minimal kit out as I need. So I've got a couple of clean cloths, a couple of pads there. I've got the M2. I'm going to decant that into this primer bottle, which I've just washed to hell and back, so there's no traces of primer in there. You don't want that, so we'll just let that dry off, and I'll just pour some of the M2 into the little primer bottle, which is a bit more user-friendly than using the big heavy one. I've got the Ruped's Claw, I've got my XCE, yeah, and I've got the PXE. I'm using orange pads, not the out-and-out finishing pads, because these are soft enough, but they'll give me a little bit of cut just to help taking out the swirls. I've got some water there, put a couple of squirts of Surfex in, and I put my dirty pads in there so that the polish won't set in the pad. And that's about it. I've got some clay bar there, got my torch, I've got my stool, I got the radio. I'll put the radio on and just zone out and get polishing. So there we go. Take care, and I'll see you soon on the Forensics Detailing channel. Bye for now.
Holding on to what I knew, but the moment's gone. Where was I?